First off, let me say that I hope you guys are having a awesome Easter Sunday. If you guys are celebrating that, if you're not, then I hope you're having an awesome day in general. But without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about Kid Buu. Now, if you didn't know, it's kind of unexciting for a lot of players. Kid Buu is coming to the game again. You know, a newer iteration of Kid Buu. Let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit here. We have an intelligence extreme type god lead for Kid Buu. So we're going to talk about him. I'm going to give you guys my general thoughts on him as far as he goes. When he's coming out, I don't know. It should probably come out on Tuesday. That's generally about when they do it. So, you know, sometime early this week. It's now currently Saturday afternoon. So I'm uploading this on Sunday. So I'm a little bit late on it, but regardless, sometime this week. So let's go ahead and look at Kid Buu as far as the card goes. And as always, if you're not subscribed to the Dokkan Reddit, please do so. They're an awesome community. And without them, I'd be kind of lost with these type of videos. So without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about it. So we have Intelligence TUR Kid Buu, the Majin that surpasses all. Leader is Extreme Intelligence 3 key and 120% up, while Super Intelligence gets 1 key and 50% to the stats. Passive is 100% up on the attack when HP is 30% and above. He gets an additional 70%, so he gets a stack of 70% as well. So super attack, super vanishing ball, immense damage, and recovers 12% of your HP. That's very good. Of just a flat number of your HP is really good. There's a video in there. Long story short, he gets knocked. He kind of teleports. Not really teleports, but like, you know, makes himself gooey. I don't want to do it because, you know, my internet's kind of funny right now. But he does that, goes behind them, and does vanishing ball. It's pretty cool animation. My internet's a little wonky, so I don't really want to. I don't know if it's going to load up properly because I am uploading a video that you guys will see tomorrow. Aside from this, okay, it looks like it's loading. Or maybe not. I don't want it to buffer. And Bandai's rotation is... Look at Dokkan Battle. Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. Oh, God. That's because it has Google Translate on. Or Translate on the Twitter. I'm turning off the sound. But Bandai's team is kind of funny. I'm trying to think what's all active. What's active there? Metamorphosis, Big Bad Bosses. Not even Fierce Battle because it's not even the TUR Super Baby 2. So I don't really know what they're doing with that team. It's messing up, so I'm not gonna really do this. Long story short, you guys can check that out on the Bandai's Twitter. He does about 1 million damage, 1.1 or something like that. So links: Majin attack and defense plus 1,000, brutal beatdown plus 500 attack, more than meets the eye plus 300 attack. Big Bad Bosses is 25% attack and defense when 80% or below. Infinite regeneration is 3 HP. The wall standing tall, that's the one for Gohan's event. They just give that to all Majin Buu cards apparently. That's a 15% attack boost, so it's pretty significant. And Fierce Battle. So off the bat, who's his best linking partner? Buhan, because they share like what 4 or 5 links. Majin, Buhan doesn't have brutal beatdown. I think that Babidi Kid Buu Absorb or Kid Buu Babidi Absorb has that. If you wanted to run him, which I don't see much of a point to run him if you have him. More than meets the eye. I don't think anybody on that team has that. Big Bad Bosses, Buhan has it. Infinite Regeneration, Buhan has it. While Standing Tall, I'm pretty sure Buhan has that as well. And Fierce Battle, of course, Buhan has that. So, yeah, the problem with Kid Buu is that he does not have a key link. So I want to diffuse a little bit of this. Off the bat, he's not amazing, right? He's not an amazing unit. I don't think he's amazing. I think that his leader skills are great, but like I don't think he's amazing. I don't think he's bad or underwhelming either. So I'm kind of neutral on Kid Buu, in which, of course, obviously, when he comes out and we see how hard he hits, everybody's going to change their minds on him. That's just how this game is, and that's how we kind of are. So I'm trying to look at it from a different perspective. Let's talk about some positives for Kid Buu. The immense damage and recovery of 12%. The immense was given, but like he's not a generic guy that just debuffs attack and defense, similar to Buhan. I think that is actually really good for him. He does get 12% recovery, and that's significant considering that, you know, in an optimal scenario, you have over 250,000, 220, whatever the number is based on your units, that many HP, so that much HP, and then 12% of that, just a flat number. That's a lot of HP to recover on a super attack, and of course, if you give him double supers or things like that, if you pull a duplicate, you're getting that twice, so it's a very big buff for him. And given that recovery, you're going to have 2 of him. You're going to run double leads. You're going to have Buhan on the team, so you're going to have a lot of HP recovery back. And then, of course, things like Metamorphosis and Infinite Regeneration among the team members, like Janemba, Buhan, Metamorphosis, Infinite Regeneration in there. There's a lot of recovery with this team. And people are kind of looking at that as like a deterrent or a detriment to the team for some reason because Big Bad Bosses won't proc that often. But my thing is that, you know, Kid Buu gets basically a guaranteed 170% up, right? Because with this team, you're almost always going to be above 30%. Them giving him 30% on that was them saying, hey, we don't want to say indefinitely, but we're going to give you the next best thing. Aside from like below 99%, because below 99%, it's like almost always active. So above 30, same thing. So he's basically getting 170% up on the HP, but there's a couple of mechanics as far as like how this works. People need to understand a couple of things. While all this regeneration takes place, of course, infinite regeneration, the link skill regenerations activate, at the beginning of the turn when your links are active. And Buhan, for example, people are kind of a little concerned about big bad bosses not having longevity on the team. Buhan will heal you whenever you give him your orbs, but of course, as soon as you take a hit, the heal is gone, right? And only having one Buhan to debuff attack and defense, depending on what else you run, that's up to you. But only having that, coupled with Kid Buu's inability to defend, basically, because he's just all offense and recovery, but no defense, I don't see it being very hard to sustain big bad bosses. It's an 80% or below link. That's basically one attack, two normal attacks, right, on your units that'll proc that off. And the way that the game is played now, you're generally going to be floating 2 or 3 supporters, because this brings me into my next issue. When you have guys like an Intelligence Turles, for example, just spitballing, or Intelligence Rebirth Metacooler in that third slot, or maybe Bandai does the thing that they did for 17 and create somebody equivalent to Trenchcoat 17 that can give key attack and defense. When you have somebody like that, you run 2 or 3 of those guys on the team, all of a sudden key links don't become a problem. Kid Buu starts with 8 or 9 key on both rotations, because you're going to have him on one rotation with the Buhan, of course, and you'll probably have him on another rotation with, I don't know who you're going to run, Janemba, whatever. I can't really think of it right now. Android 13, whatever you're doing with the team, key doesn't really become an issue. And then this guy is hitting so hard, when he's got basically 200% up with the leader skill, not the leader skill, excuse me, the passive, and then the big bad bosses being active, not to mention the double leader skills, he's going to pop out as being one of the harder hitters possible. And all the attack links he has, that one on rotation with Buhan, they're both going to hit really hard. And, the thing about it too is the beauty of Buhan is that he doesn't need a lot of orbs to be sufficient with what he does. He doesn't need to be a guy that gets a whole board full of orbs, or 15 or whatever the number is, like 8 or 7 orbs. He doesn't need to do all that. Buhan can just get 3 intelligence orbs or something like that, and just enough to super attack, because he's still giving you his debuffs, which could be greatly attack and defense if he changed to the Kamehameha. He's still giving you the recovery. He's still hitting pretty hard because he does have that nuke type passive. So all of a sudden you have a team that is probably just one unit away from being really, really good offensively and defensively. For whatever reason they didn't do it for the agility units. I guess it kind of makes sense, because for agility heroes they gave that tournament Gohan last tournament, and then they gave AGL Gohan a rebirth Super Saiyan 2. They gave him a rebirth too, so they didn't make one of those 40% like Super Buu and then that Gohan, the physical and hero and villain versions. They didn't do that, like the physical Super Buu that was on the banner for that. They didn't do that for the AGL types. But if they go ahead and do that for intelligence, something like that, 40% attack and defense and 3 key as a floating roamer on that third slot, will be really, really scary on this team. So I don't really know. Like I said, I can't really think of it off the top of my head, but like, just assuming you're going to run 2 or 3 of those supporters in a scenario, and obviously everybody's situation will be different, right? Kid Buu may not be the unit for you if you can't support him properly. Like, you don't have Buhan, you don't have these key supporters, you don't have things like that. He's going to need a little bit of help. He may not be the unit for you. But all in all, I think I've kind of touched most of it. I think he's going to be one of the harder hitters. Of course he will be. He's hitting for 1 million either way. It splits. He's got a lot of attack links, a few of which don't even activate. Brutal Beatdown and More Than Meets the Eye are just kind of there because he's Kid Buu. But like, they could have given him Shocking Speed. If they gave him Shocking Speed, nobody would say anything. But it is what it is. Aside from that, I think that he's pretty good. He's going to be pretty good for a long time. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Like I said, have an awesome Sunday, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.